Shit 90 Shows Taught Me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.
Are you ready to join a beauty pageant and put menthol cream in someone's bathing suit? So are we. Welcome back to Shit 90 Shows Taught Me. I'm Jess Sterling, here with my co-host, Sarah Humphrey. Sarah, how are you?
I would never cheat at a beauty pageant, like that is just rude and disrespectful. I know that girl was a see you next Tuesday, but we're not going to put menthol. That's mint. That hurts your hoo-ha.
Oh yeah, I'm very much against injuring other people's hoo-has. I feel like there's a line and the hoo-ha is crossing the line.
That crossed the line.
Mhm.
Vaseline,
Yes.
maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Just not like, that's like putting hot peppers in your hoo-ha. That's terrible.
Okay, I feel like it's not as hot peppers, but
Pretty bad.
Let's welcome in someone who just ate his shrimp yogurt before joining the podcast. Tom Palmer. Tom, how are you?
I'm okay. Jess, what the hell is wrong with Sean? Like,
he's not okay.
Savory yogurt.
Ew.
Savory yogurt.
Yeah.
Sir, your husband is like a no sweets guy. He prefers savory.
No. Yes. No, he likes sweets. Like he very, very much likes sweets, but he likes savory more. But he's still really, it's like, okay, so you know how like Tom, you and I, we love adjectives for food, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like sweet and savory is his two favorites. Very low on sour, very low on spicy, pretty low on what's the other S's? We forget.
Sloppy? How's he on sloppy?
He's okay with sloppy. But sweet, he lives in the sweet and the savory, but he won't touch sour and spicy. He would not try he doesn't even really like yogurt, so he would definitely not try shrimp yogurt. That sounds
one would is the thing. No one is eating shrimp yogurt.
And it's not even the cholesterol issue. It's disgusting.
No, it's disgusting. There shouldn't need to be an explanation. It should be, Sean, why are you making shrimp yogurt? It has nothing to do with the cholesterol. It's just fucking disgusting.
It's pretty gross. That is the big, and I do like yogurt, but that's a big no for me. Savory yogurt sounds horrible. Like that is such a bad invention. And honestly, I think like the headlines truly of this episode have to be Sean's inventions, clearly. And I feel like I'm on Megan's side. Like I'm a little concerned because all of these inventions suck. And especially, okay, the thing is that I agree with Megan's father. Restaurants are money pits. Like, right. So I think that is a terrible, terrible idea. Like nobody should be venturing into restaurants. I don't know what the percentages are, but I think like I've read that the percentages of restaurants that fail in the first 2 years is very, very great. So I would tell Sean not to go into the restaurants. And on top of that, like, haven't we learned anything? Didn't Mitch Leary, he was a restaurant,
died via ice cream cone.
Yes, that's true. He was into restaurants, but then he failed the restaurant business.
Well, yeah. I think they eventually succeeded. Leary's Fresh Fish eventually took off.
Hold up. But did it really take off?
Yes. Why are we okay? We are so far off of the course of what we're supposed to be talking about today. I
wish that we were still covering Dawson's Creek, honestly.
So we're talking about season 4, episode 4 of Felicity, Misconception. Now, if you listened to the last podcast, you'll hear Sarah trying to get through my thick skull that this is going to be an episode about pregnancy. And meanwhile, I cannot get off the topic of this is 2 words, Sarah. It's obviously going to be the beauty pageant.
Do we have that clip? I wish
I did not pull it. No, I probably should have, but I didn't.
Maybe DBK did. Because sometimes
he probably did to roast me. He probably did. He loves to roast me.
It is so frustrating. Because I was like, I called it instantly. I was like, it's not
literally the first scene.
yeah, it's not like you didn't read the words miss space conception. And I was like, oh, that
Yeah.
sounds like pregnancy. It's a pregnancy scare. And you're like, no, but Sarah, it's
The beauty pageant.
misconception. It's a beauty pageant. I'm like, I get the double meaning, Jess, but
Yeah.
I think I tried a couple of times. And
Oh, you definitely, you kept attempting, and sometimes it just doesn't work. Like, I hear what I want to hear, and my brain will not compute anything else.
I feel like I live in crazy town. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the idiot. Not
Yeah.
that you're an idiot. I wouldn't say
No,
that.
what I am an idiot. It's totally fine. So listen, we all know, okay? We all know now this is about pregnancy.
Mhm.
And like we'll talk about the Megan and Sean stuff, but like obviously the biggest thing is this whole pregnancy scare.
No,
And
it's
like
the invention.
like what are we doing on this show where Felicity is having a pregnancy scare? Tom, I need you. Okay, so you obviously were like, listen, this is the episode I want to come on for. So
should
I
I tell
need
the
to know
backstory?
why.
Should I tell the backstory? Okay. So while we were all playing D&D in the Discord, we had this app on the Discord called Avre, which rolls dice for you.
Yes.
I hadn't watched season 4 in a while, so when you asked me what episode I wanted to be on, I may have just typed into Avre.
Jessica, he told us that last week, and you're laughing like you never heard that before in your life.
He told us this was random?
multiple times.
I don't remember that.
Oh my god, I feel
well, even if I did know, I would have still asked him for the podcast.
Yeah, no, that's very good. That's very good.
But either way,
you just laughed, like you just cackled your fucking ass
because
off.
I really did. I did not remember that being a thing. I know for Buffy, we've said like, oh, Tom picks episodes that are actually horrible. So like, I wasn't sure what the strategy was for Felicity.
Yeah, no, it was a D20, right? Or was it like a D24 or whatever?
I went with a D22. There's 22 episodes, and
There you go.
And you got episode 4.
Yep.
And then
now, are you happy with your selection?
Yeah, what did you think when you actually saw it?
I mean, I just thought, this is perfect. I mean, beauty pageants, pregnancy scares. I mean, clearly
all things you can relate to.
You're a specialist in both of these things.
I was recently on an episode of One Indescribable Podcast where they did the sex education episode. So there was kind of a theme.
There's a theme
kind of going on.
Yeah, that's
wear condoms, everyone. And I do think we need to break down whether or not Noel and Felicity used the condom.
They definitely didn't. Where would they have found unless Noel carries one on his person at all times, which he just doesn't strike me as that kind of guy.
I think
but did Tracy strike you as that kind of guy?
Well, the thing is, wait, what does Tracy have to what?
Tracy had the condom in his wallet, which Elena found, which is why Elena.
But Tracy does strike me as that kind of guy. Like he's very cautious sort of guy.
Oh, okay. I guess
Yeah. Whereas I would see Noel as like, oh, that'll never happen. I'm not gonna someone's gonna see it and then they're gonna presume. He has like anxious brain. He's not gonna do that. But like the thing is the fact that let me back up. Felicity takes a pregnancy test. She thinks she might be pregnant. The pregnancy test is positive, which is, I feel like more likely it is you'll get a false negative than a false positive because like maybe you're testing too early or something, right? Now,
is that how it is? I thought it was the other. I thought they sometimes had false positives.
It's very unlikely to have a false positive. Now, there is a couple of things. As a person that has taken many pregnancy tests, only because I used to live in a very anxious environment regarding pregnancy, which, oh boy, if I could tell all my pregnancy scare stories, that would be a fun story to tell. But there are times where there's a couple things that I think that could have happened. Number one, it is so hard sometimes to see the lines, and sometimes your eyes see lines that don't actually go there. Number two, it could have been a defective test. Number three, she could have waited too long to look at the test, which means that an evaporation line shows. That's why they say like, you have to look like 10 minutes after the test and you can't look like 10 minutes after, because sometimes evaporation lines show up, which makes it looks like it's a positive, but it's actually not. So like there's some things that could have happened. It could have been defective. There's been times where like I had to take one for a pregnancy scare and like nothing shows up, like, but it was a digital and it doesn't say like not pregnant or pregnant. It just like
It just
nothing
does
shows up.
nothing. That's
It does nothing,
horrifying.
which is also those digital tests are so expensive. They're like $20.
Yeah, they really are.
And for like nothing to show up and as being like defective is like the worst thing ever. Sometimes if you get it at the dollar store, they're janky as fuck. Sometimes if you get them at Walgreens to get the brand name, they're janky as fuck. So like there's things that could happen, but all of this to say is far more common to get a false negative than it is a false positive. And I think that Elena gave really good advice to be like, to the only way
Get a
to
blood
make
test.
yeah, get a blood test is the only way that you can know for sure.
And I did like that Felicity like told this to Elena. That was a smart move in my opinion, right? If you are super anxious, you think you might be pregnant, telling your good friend is an excellent idea. Someone who, like Elena, who lives her life in facts, right? Like she is a scientist, like she's a doctor, she is very much like a logical person. She's also, I feel like, Tom, like a steady person to like hang on to, you know, if you need it.
Yeah.
She's going to tell you the facts. She's not going to sugarcoat it, but she's also going to be there for you. Now, where Felicity loses me is when she's like, okay, now that Elena knows. Also, hey, maybe I should mention it to Noel. And this is where I think, Tom, I think you were on the side, correct me if I'm wrong. You were on the side of, you think this, if there was a baby, that it would have been Noel's baby.
Well, so the TV drama would have been the outcome. But statistically, I don't think it's that likely because, I mean, she's had sex with Ben way more than Noel. And so, like, the only way, like, the chances are even remotely on Noel's side is if you're right that they didn't use a condom.
In my mind, the fact that Felicity goes to Noel and tells Noel first, and that tells me that her mind, it was pretty much Noel's. Now, does that mean that, like, during that time period, her and Ben weren't having sex? Like I don't know how well Felicity tracks her ovulation, but like, was she just so happening to have sex during her ovulation window while with Noel? I also think that she had unprotected sex with Noel and protected sex with Ben. So that's the other thing, because it sounded like her and Ben uses condoms, but like this was a very heat of the moment thing. But like, it really doesn't matter if like she's had a lot more sex with Ben than Noel. It really depends on like the timing and like the windows. Like it is actually like, in reality, it's much harder to get pregnant than you would think, because essentially, I mean, although Felicity is like 19 years old, has like probably a beacon of health, like her system is like, she's probably very fertile. Like it's like a specific window, right? And I don't know, in my opinion, it seemed like Ben and Felicity were just like not on the same wavelength in any sort of way. So like in my head, it seems like pretty obvious to her and to me that like this baby would potentially be Noel's, but I mean, like, who really knows? Like, we did not see their sex schedule, so I do not know the dates on the calendar. But Felicity seemed pretty confident it was Noel's.
Well, I think it's less that she felt confident it was Noel's, and I think more so this is just showing us that she feels more comfortable opening up to Noel.
I agree with
because
that.
like everything that's been going on with Ben, first of all, the fact that they did break up for like a hot second because of the guilt Felicity had for sleeping with Noel, like they were a little bit disconnected. There's the whole thing of now he's pre-med and she doesn't want to be pre-med and you know all this other stuff. And then it also feels like they're not quite on the same page because they're both very busy at the moment, especially Ben. He's taking a shit ton of classes. They're really not, they haven't been on the same wavelength much. And so part of me feels like she thinks it's easier to tell Noel because they're both kind of a mess right now. He doesn't have a job. She doesn't necessarily know what she's doing with her future. She needs tuition money, right? Like they're both kind of hot messes. Whereas, Tom, if she tells Ben is like finally on a path, right? Like he is finally like, I am pre-med now. I know what I want to do with my future. Imagine then her going up to him and being like, hey, I could be pregnant. And like possibly fucking up that whole future, you know?
Yeah, I mean, based on his reaction, and Ben does at least think it's possible that it's his. So like they
Right.
had sex
True.
at least. It wasn't like he was like, how on earth could she have gotten pregnant? We haven't had sex in months.
Yeah.
Like he clearly assumed it was his.
Right. That's a great
Well, yeah,
point.
he didn't even think anything. Like okay, listen, if I'm Ben and I find out Felicity told Noel before she told me that she's possibly pregnant, I'm sorry. I think in the back of my mind, I'm wondering, like, did they do something?
That's interesting because that's coming from Jess, who doesn't get jealous.
I don't. It's not jealousy. It's more like logic. Like, why the hell is she telling Noel before me? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, all of this feels like mistake after mistake after mistake, because after Felicity goes to the doctor and gets the blood test, right? She has some sort of like a receipt or like a printout, something. And she leaves it on her desk. Then Ben is like, hey, for no reason at all, can I study here? And uses her desk, and he finds it. Like, girl, throw it away, hide it somewhere. Like, this is like a huge mistake, Sarah, to just be like leaving that out on the table.
Felicity is the dumbest bitch I've ever seen in my life. Like, honestly, like I cannot believe from how much like how much I liked her and how like proud of her I was in seasons 2 and 3. Like, she is like verging on season 1 Felicity territory, where I just think that she's a complete idiot. She's absolutely useless. She has no motivation. She has no drive. She's just floundering, and she's like loving it. And she's a liar, and she's a cheater. And she can't even win the fucking beauty pageant when clearly she's the prettiest one there. And this makes me so mad. She can't even answer the fucking interview questions properly. What a fucking moron.
Yeah, that was dumb.
That annoyed me so badly. Just fake it till you make it. She's useless. Absolutely useless. So yeah, I don't know. Like, she is making mistake after mistake. Her father's right. She's losing it. You know?
I also want to mention that because not only is Felicity dumb in this entire thing, Tom, so she tells Noel, right? Noel is bent out of shape, obviously. Now, when Noel is playing basketball to like get his mind off things, like boys do, I guess.
Yeah,
classic
all
manly men, gotta go play basketball to get my mind off things. Happens all the time on Basketball Twins, Sarah.
Right.
Really?
And when Noel is playing basketball, Ben shows up, right? And when Ben is like, oh yeah, Felicity could be pregnant, because he needs a person to confide in, and Sean certainly is dealing with other shit right now. So he confides in Noel, and Noel's like, oh, she told you? Sir, are you fucking kidding me, Noel? You couldn't have been like, oh, like at least put on shock for like a second.
And then when Ben asked, did Felicity tell you? And Noel was like, oh no, she didn't.
He's so dumb, Tom. Everyone is so dumb.
They're useless, absolutely useless. At least, wait, I don't even think this is the truth, because I thought that after the fact that she found out that she was not pregnant, did she go to Noel again and tell her?
No, he found out through Ben.
Okay,
she called Noel. She called Noel.
Oh, she called Noel.
Oh, she did? I thought Ben told him.
No, she called Noel. Ben told him, and once again he was like, "Oh, I'm just hearing that for the first time."
Well, so bad.
Okay, no, I did think that Noel did the right thing in the second time when he pretended that he didn't know that she wasn't pregnant, because like I thought that was good, because then he's just like, I need to like, I think he knows that he's in this like really sticky situation where he's like in the middleman, but Noel is being such a dirty dog too. And
he put his dick where it didn't belong, and now he's paying for it. Like, seriously.
He's just like way too involved as well with like the Ben of it all. And I don't know, it feels so icky. I feel bad for Ben, because I just feel like he's literally like he's being lied to a lot from his girlfriend. I just wish that like if Felicity wanted to like fuck around, then fine, just like end it with him. But like every single time she's like, oh, I want to be with you, and I don't know, like she had an out, like she broke it off with him, and then
whole
she's,
thing
like, falling back together.
Her whole thing right now, it's almost like they're like making up a new reason why Felicity doesn't want to be with Ben. Because Tom, now we're like, it seems like when she's talking to this new girl Sara at the beauty pageant, which I really love this character, by the way. She is like, oh, you know that like super popular guy that gets like voted most popular? Well, that's my boyfriend, and I'm still not cool enough to be with him. It's like, since when is Felicity this like self-conscious person again?
Well, okay. Actually, Tom, did I not say that at one point this season? I swear I said that. I was like, I think one of the reasons why Felicity has an issue with like Ben is that she still sees herself as a loser. I swear I said that.
You probably did.
I definitely think, I mean, yeah, I think that's been there the whole time. Like, she's gotten more confident, but like the underlying insecurity, I don't think that's ever.
So she
like,
should just
really
be with
gone
Noel
away.
because he's obviously a big loser.
Well, that's what Noel thinks. Welcome to Team Noel, Jeff.
Welcome to Team Noel, where both Noel and
have
Felicity are
cookies,
losers.
We have cookies. We have pizza.
And I do want to defend Noel a bit because yes, he's lying, but like, what is he supposed to do? Like,
he lie better. Lie better.
Lie better. But like,
liar, we know that.
But like, he's in this situation where he's like the other guy, and he's like, I don't want to blow up Felicity's spot because like she wants to keep this from him, but I shouldn't be the one responsible for doing all this lying to Ben.
I mean, I agree with that. It is Felicity's job and responsibility to tell the truth, and it's really not Noel's. But Felicity is obviously not going to do that because she's a piece of shit.
Yeah, and also, like, let's be real. Noel sort of wants Ben to find out, so they break up because he still is in love with Felicity.
I mean, that is true, and not a terrible plan for Noel. But
yeah. But like, yeah, let's continue on the Noel track because the pregnancy storyline wasn't even the most far-fetched, ridiculous fucking storyline this episode. Noel still needs a job. Noel still jobless. He goes to the university guidance counselor because he wants help. This guidance counselor, in his infinite fucking wisdom, is like, hey, here's a kid with no prospects. He once wrote a comic called Loser Pet Store. He has something to do with graphic design and tech. I'm going to just offer him my job. What world are we living in?
I mean, this is literally, if anybody's asking how you get a job in the real world, it is literally connections. You have to know somebody to get a job. So honestly, this pretty much tracks. Yeah. I mean, he's not a guidance counselor also because they don't call them guidance counselors in college. They call them advisors, right?
Sure. It's
Probably,
the same principle. Yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, this is ridiculous. He's not fucking qualified for this.
Who is qualified to be an advisor?
A person who went to fucking school for it. For one.
Says the person that got a job out of school that had nothing to do with what they went to school for.
But I started from the bottom and worked my way up in like a job that anybody could get.
Bottom. It's not like he's
this isn't the bottom. You're advising college students. You should maybe have some sort of a degree.
When I was a senior in college, I helped my fellow students pick their classes more so than their advisor. I was the advisor. It is so easy to be an advisor, honestly, especially back in that day when you have your guidelines. You need to take this class, and then you just advise them. It's not that hard. It's not. I can do it.
I love the idea of the description for this job being advise students.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so easy. Even a Noel could do it. I could do it again.
Possibly, but I don't think the outgoing advisor gets to pick their replacement without any like oversight. And then once Noel has the job, he's like already hiring more people. Like now Noel gets to hire TA.
I could do this in my sleep. This job,
fucking nepotism at its finest. Like
and
always. Oh, why is he constantly trying to give Felicity jobs?
Because
why
she's
is he
poor.
constantly trying to give her
because he's
jobs?
trying to get with Felicity, and so like as Pacey said in Dawson's Creek, if you like someone, proximity is a good thing. So he
Mm,
keeps
yeah.
finding ways to get Felicity.
He's like,
close
hey,
to it.
my office will be right down the hall. Wink, wink.
well, she does. Okay, like I don't think that this is a bad thing. Like it's like a whole different discussion if he was actually like qualified or like able to get this job / give jobs out. But like, of course, like she wouldn't take the money. She's still struggling. She couldn't even win the beauty pageant, even though she's the most gorgeous person that's ever existed in the galaxy. And then, so
And she's
then,
never been in a pageant before. So I think pageants are something that you need like a bit of experience and training for.
no,
Like,
everybody
agree.
can
I
be in a
agree with
pageant.
that.
I can go to the pageant. No, I couldn't because I'm ugly. But that is my biggest concern about why I couldn't win a pageant. Everything else I could probably do, but because I'm ugly, I can't win the pageant. Felicity is gorgeous.
But she sucked at the questions. We saw that she
did
sucked
ask
at the
it.
questions.
So stupid. That's so stupid. Anyway, of course he's gonna give the job to Felicity because she is qualified for that job. Anyone's qualified to be a TA, truly.
And the worst part about this whole thing is that now, so Ben is a dumb fuck because everyone on the show is stupid. And he's like, hey, somehow I forgot to drop all my normie classes. And now I have all these pre-med classes, so I need to drop my normie classes.
Well, this
So
is
let me go to my advisor, who's now fucking Noel,
yeah, this
who
is
fucked my
every
girlfriend.
anxiety dream that's ever happened. I mean, we've all had this dream, and apparently it's his reality. Yeah, I mean, that is silly. That his new so silly, but no holds him out. See, he was able to do it.
Of course, damn well he should have, Tom, because he fucked his girlfriend. Yeah, the least you could do is help me drop my classes.
yeah, I mean, and maybe that shows that Noel was qualified to be this advisor because he knows how to drop classes.
Look, that is his job. He advises and he helps drop, which I don't think is true because I had to go to the registrar when I went to the drop classes. But anyway,
It's a whole clusterfuck of a mess. And that's kind of the gist of the Ben, Noel, Felicity drama. Now,
does Ben look better this episode, or
his hair's growing a little bit.
Okay, so that's why I find him more attractive again.
Yes.
Okay, I was so confused because I was like, wait a minute, didn't I call him the ugliest person that ever lived?
You
the other
did.
day?
That was
But-
like 3 episodes ago. Yeah, his hair's
now
growing a
he's
little
kind
bit.
of attractive again.
Okay.
But he's pulling off the look better than Pacey did. Like for some reason, season 4, they're like, let's shave our heads. These WB's male stars, but he's doing a better job than Joshua Jackson did. I think this is more a good look for Ben.
Better look.
Yeah. I mean, if he was an EMT, you can't have hair in your face. You know, you're running around helping people and all that.
I remember the days when I was so excited for Ben to become an EMT. I said, "This is it. This is his
This
job.
is the move for him."
This is the job. This is a great fit for him." I
Yeah.
thought that it was a genius thing for him to pursue. Now he's a dumb doctor. But then again, Jessica, you've seen a lot of Grey's Anatomy.
Yep.
Are there any dummy-dums?
Oh, so many dummy dumbs.
Okay, then anybody could be a doctor then.
I mean, also, I wouldn't say Grey's is, close to reality in any dimension.
Are either of you in like residency matching TikTok?
No,
No.
I don't know what that is.
This is my favorite thing. It is like sorority rush. It is like, those Harvard kids that like get assigned a building to live in and they make it their personality. Essentially, one day a year, the doctors get to know what specialty that they get matched in. And
they don't get to choose their specialty?
it's like a ranking process, a mutual selection process.
Okay.
So somebody could be going in, they say, I want internal medicine, but then they get radiology and they don't get to choose. And it's basically like they're matching. It's very interesting, very dramatic.
These are the TikToks you're getting?
Of course, yes.
Oh.
Yes.
How did you get onto that TikTok, Sarah? Did you?
There's probably some overlap between like sorority fraternity rush.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like it's I don't know, it's like rejection TikTok. I don't know. It's probably some sort of weird fetish that I'm on. I don't know.
Wow. Okay. Do we want to talk about Megan and Sean or do we want to talk about the beauty pageant?
I think we're in the beauty pageant area.
Okay, so I have visual
flirted with them
aids
a lot.
for the beauty pageant. Now, the only person more cracked than Felicity, Noel, and Ben in this episode is the man that did this to her. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, please find us on YouTube. Shit 90 Shows taught me, but use an asterisk for the I because YouTube doesn't like the word shit because it's stupid. This man took Carrie Russell's beautiful, lovely curls and was like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make it look like you are from Alabama in the 80s. Okay. The bigger the hair, the closer to God. That's what he heard.
Yeah. It's not even the hair that bothers me the most. It's just it's so much makeup on her. Much. Yeah, and she's so beautiful, like I've said. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, like, yeah, the hair is pretty egregious, but like the amount of makeup that's on her. And also, I don't know what Carrie Russell did to her eyebrows this episode, but they got plucked. They got so plucked. They're so plucked, they're fucked. So I do think that it is a crime against humanity what this man did to her, but also maybe it's what beauty pageants are supposed to look like. I don't know.
No. This is tragic. Okay, Tom. First of all, yeah, so her hair is hideous. It's like big, it's fluffy, it's giving realtor from the South.
Toddler and Tiara realness.
Yes. And then the lips are just so dark. Like you said, it's just so much makeup smacked onto her face. And it's giving what's the Julia Roberts sex worker movie?
Pretty Woman.
It's giving Pretty Woman.
It's giving prostitute.
Yeah.
Sex worker, yes. It's giving these are my dick sucking lips.
Sorry, sex work is real work. I truly believe that.
Yeah. So this is a horrible look. I hated it. And I loved her new friend, Sara, being like, next time, tell them to go light on the eyeshadow. These bitches love that.
Sara was the star of the episode. And quite honestly, the fact that she didn't win is just straight up racism.
Her song was so good. Was it Whitney Houston, right? She sang? Something really a talent.
She was runner-up. Yeah. Were you now at any point during this episode were you like a little bit sus of her? Like she's a little too nice.
No,
is this some?
I never was. Because we already had our villain in whatever that menthol cream girl's name is. Like she was our villain, so I didn't think Sara was going to get underhanded.
We had bigger fish to fry than Sara. I loved that character. She was great. I wish that she could be around more often. Too bad we're never going to see her again. And I really do wish that she won. That would have been nice. Forever. That would have been nice. What else do we have from these looks?
Yes. So one other thing is before we get into the other looks, we have to talk about Javier just being the most supportive. Like, I love him so much. I wrote down one of his quotes that is my absolute favorite. It might be my favorite thing he's literally ever said on the show Felicity. He says, "You are so gullible. You're like a seabird."
I believe it.
I love him so much.
Yeah. Seabirds are very gullible.
A proud little dad. Okay. Are you ready to talk about Felicity's cowgirl outfit?
I'm obsessed, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Talk about toddlers and tiaras. That's what this is giving.
This is 10 out of 10, this outfit. And I love her little rodeo dance. I think that she looks adorable.
Yeah. I like that Felicity thought her talent was dancing. And like other than the opening number, they didn't actually show Felicity dancing as like her talent. Because they were like,
this is bullshit. Like, we barely got to see Felicity do any of the beauty pageant.
I'm really disappointed, actually. I am incredibly disappointed that we didn't get to see her swimsuit nor her talent.
And they made a whole big stink about her doing the stringy bikini or whatever.
Have either of you ever watched a Miss America, Miss USA?
Only Miss Congeniality, the movie.
I watched Miss Congeniality in the movie. That is...
Yeah.
It is nobody's surprise that I do love to watch a pageant. I find it so
This is me being shocked.
Okay, but sir, it isn't just the prettiest that wins. There's like a lot of goes into it. I really think there's a lot. I really think like
there is a lot that goes
into it. Had no chance at this thing.
Well, I thought that Felicity had a good chance because at one point in time, the very first thing that we heard for the interview. Number one, okay, so like I don't care about the dance, you know, like I wish I saw her talent. I don't know if she actually decided to dance. I really liked how everybody was like, what's your favorite, like if you were a plant, what plant would you be or something? And everybody was like strawberry. But like once Felicity said either like an oak tree or
an oak tree because they're strong.
I
Yeah.
thought that was a phenomenal answer.
Same.
I was like, oh, this is like looking really up. I liked her reasoning. I liked how she said they change and they evolve. Now, this is where I'm like, Felicity, you stupid fuck. Like, it is okay. Like, okay. Ugh. They were like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I think that she could have started with, you know what? I am an artist. This is what I'm doing. I don't know where I see myself in 5 years. I think that's okay. But I think it's okay to say that. However, this is how you spin it. You go, and you know what? That might be alarming for some people, but also means that I have the ability to really grow and evolve. And not everybody knows where they're going to go in life, and that's okay. However, I feel really great about being a person right now that has a ton of opportunity. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you spin it. Like, she could say, I don't know what's going on in the next 5 years, but because it's honestly the truth. And a lot of those other girls probably don't know what they're doing in the next 5 years. However, you got to spin it. You stupid freaking idiot. How did she not know that? And then they're like, well, can you elaborate? That would have been the perfect spot to be like, take a breath and then evolve on the answer. But then she was like, no, I really can't. Oh, Felicity, you stupid idiot. Why couldn't you say something? Just bullshit your way through it. What's wrong with you?
I don't think I've ever heard the answer no to the question, can you expand on that? Like, they're not looking, it's not a yes or no. Like, it's you expand on that, please. I agree with you, Sarah. I think she easily could have been like, oh, you know, this is New York City. I'm interested in medicine and helping people, and I'm interested in art, and maybe I can somehow merge the two. Like, I think there's a way.
Or you just bullshit. You lie. Like, they don't know. They don't know what you're doing. Half of these girls lie. You think that these girls grew up and wanted to be a strawberry? No. That's just like what they thought they were going to say.
Well, then it's also not, you're not committing yourself to doing that anyway. Like, you're not committing yourself to doing what you say you're going to do in 5 years. So it was a really big faux pas. She definitely was like thrown off. And I think the biggest thing is what Tom said in terms of like, we know Sarah mentions like, oh, I've been in a bunch of these. And obviously Menthol Cream Girl has been in a bunch of these. I think a lot of it is like the experience and like knowing what to say, when to say it, how to act. And I feel like Felicity didn't take that into account when she entered into this last minute, because let's face it, Tom, she needed evening wear. She needed a bathing suit. Like, she needed all of these things. And that's not even talking about the actual prep involved in answering the questions.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Like, you have to spin it. You have to be, at some point you have to say, I'm going to try to make the world a better place. Charity, you're doing charity at some point in the next 5 years. I don't know how a 25-year-old really has enough money or time to do charity work, but that has to be one of your main platforms.
But you lie. Yeah,
definitely lie. And yeah, again, I get she's a gorgeous girl, but like, there's more to it than that. And it was kind of like. And she was like, I'll win the education portion. It's like, did you just think that all the people in the beauty pageant were dumb people?
I think, honestly, I think so. Yeah. It was all really bad. The only like silver lining here was getting to watch her like fuck around a little bit with Sarah and put menthol in that girl's bathing suit, which again, Felicity has done like some pretty bad stuff when you think about it, like breaking into the pool, like toilet papering, TPing the library. Now she's burning people's coochies. Like, girl, what you doing? You know?
It's never her idea, but she never says no.
She's a go with girl.
And this is the thing. Like, it doesn't matter if it's not your idea. If you go with it, you're still responsible for it. You know?
Yeah.
I do think that if you're Felicity's friend and you killed someone and you need someone to help cover up the murder, I think she's the one to go to.
Yeah, probably.
And
Probably.
that's
Elena's
important.
too strict. She follows rules too much. Maybe Megan. I would go to Megan.
Maybe Megan. Megan, I don't think would have any moral qualms. Elena, I think
And
would
she
have
has
moral
access
qualms.
to money.
Yeah.
Not
The one plus with Elena is I think Elena would be like by the book and she would make sure there was no evidence.
Oh,
behind.
she's like a Misty, like everyone wear gloves, clean up the crime scene. Yes,
Yeah.
okay. Yes, I agree with that. But I did enjoy watching Felicity and Sara get to fuck around a bit. And then we get the final like evening gown look and hair. This is one of my like pet peeves kind of is when they take a woman who has like very beautiful naturally curly hair, straighten the fucking ever loving shit out of it and fry it to pieces and then re-fucking curl it. What was even the point in all of that? I just sat in a chair for like 2 hours for this.
I think she looks gorgeous.
She looks good.
And I love her. I love her dress. I think
The dress is
like,
beautiful.
I like her makeup here as well. I think that I don't know if Javier did it or what, but I think that this like she deserves to win best evening gown. I think that she looked really beautiful here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I do kind of think that they were just kind of giving everyone an award.
It seemed to be so,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like-
because it was, let's see, it was the education award, runner-up, winner, an evening gown category.
There was a talent
suit?
one.
Oh,
and
and
there
the
was a
talent.
bathing thing,
Yeah.
so-
Yeah,
there
you're
were a
right. They
lot of
really were
awards.
like, everyone wins.
Yeah, and the Oscars were recently, and like sometimes you're like, I want every movie to get an Oscar, but like usually they have like the best movie gets like a ton of different Oscars, and so like you think if there was someone at the beauty pageant who wins, you'd think they would get like a bunch of the other ones get into the win.
Yeah. No, maybe it's you're only allowed to get one. But Denise wins. Denise is menthol cream girl, and Sara is the runner-up. Felicity gets like $200 gift card to I don't even know what churros. Who knows? I have no idea what the hell her $200 gift card was for, but it definitely wasn't going to cover the cost of the evening gown, the bathing suit, everything she had to buy to participate in this.
But maybe Javier's like cousin or whatever, didn't he have somebody that was able to like work on Elena's dress?
Yeah, hopefully she either got a discount or someone was able to lend her some stuff. Maybe she's like a very average size or something, that someone had some clothing laying around she could borrow.
Samples.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I just like think that my biggest issue with all of this was that like we only saw a quarter of the pageant. Also, were you both like surprised that like she was too embarrassed to tell people, namely like her boyfriend and Ben at first. And she didn't want anybody to come besides Javier and watch the pageant. Not even Elena, not even, like I would understand Megan, like Megan would never stop giving her a hard time. But was that like surprising to both of you that she didn't want anybody there?
Not really. I felt like she views beauty pageants as like silly and performative and not to be taken seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel like that she views them in that way. Like right, Tom, like she's constantly qualifying it, being like, listen, I'm not doing it for the beauty part. I'm doing it for like the educational side of it. Like she's constantly, and maybe I'm wrong. It's either that or she's feeling deeply insecure about not being a person that should be in a beauty pageant. Like I'm not pretty enough. I'm not whatever enough.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of both. I definitely think the insecurity is why she didn't really invite Ben, and I think she was being honest with when she was talking to Sara and being like, yeah, Ben's like the most popular guy, and like she doesn't want him to be like thinking about her, like, because I think in her mind she's like, Ben should probably be with a pageant girl or like the hot cheerleader or whatever stereotype in her head, because that's sort of who he was in high school, and so like she doesn't want him at the beauty pageant seeing that she's sort of awkward when trying to fit in that box.
Yeah, I think all of that tracks. But ultimately, it kind of is all for nothing because she really only gets like the $200 gift card. But luckily, she does find out she's not pregnant. Ben does end up showing up to be there for her, which I thought, again, very good boyfriend points there for doing the right thing. One other thing before we jump to Megan and Sean that I forgot to mention earlier is based on a reaction that Elena had to finding out Felicity had told Noel about the potential of a pregnancy, it seems like Elena is now well aware of what happened between Noel and Felicity, which makes two people beyond the two people involved who now know. So we're getting close to this being revealed. We have to be getting close.
Yeah, I mean, probably next week. I don't know.
I hope so.
I actually don't remember. But yeah, I mean, and yeah, it was very obvious. Like, because Elena was there, she saw the reactions. She saw the look on Noel's face, and the look on Noel's face was not friend. The look on Noel's face was,
Yeah.
I might be the father.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
This is the second time that Noel got dragged into like a pregnancy storyline.
Yes.
It's a lot of babies for Noel. Poor Noel.
Yeah.
But he keeps like escaping the.
Yeah, it's like Final Destination. Eventually, it's gonna catch up to him.
Eventually, he will have a baby.
Yeah, yeah. You can't escape fate that many times.
Oh gosh. Okay, so let's talk about Megan and Sean because Megan's dad is threatening to cut her off if she stays married to Sean because he basically, in the words of one Logan Roy, he is not serious people. He like does not think Sean is good enough for Megan. He's like, yeah, he's cute and inventive now, but like 10 years from now, that ain't gonna be so cute. And like, while I disagree with Megan's dad being like either divorce this man you're in love with or I'm cutting you off, I do think he's making some valid points about Sean. Sean, get a fucking job.
Who needs a job more, Giles or Sean?
Sean. Giles worked for a long time. He's earned some, and he's almost died on the job. He's earned some time off.
Yeah, Sean needs a job. It sounds like he's never had a job. I still don't know how he's been able, besides just credit card debt, to make do for all this time. I don't know. Like, were either of you getting like a little anti-Semitic vibes from Megan's dad?
Oh,
like,
not at
he was
all.
like, oh, like I love Sean, and then as soon as like Sean meets like the rest of the fam, he's like, no. I
thought he just hates poor people.
No, I was like, this stinks of I don't want latkes at my family get-togethers.
Oh my god. I hope not.
Well, I have a it's kind of on the line here. Because he does suggest that Megan dates a lawyer, and I'm just gonna say from experience, the lawyer. There are a lot of Jewish people in the lawyer profession. So I didn't read it as anti-Semitic.
Okay.
Hopefully no one thinks that me saying that was anti-Semitic. I was just
like, I was like, is it more than just he doesn't have a job? I don't know. Like I'm not quite sure. Obviously, it's kind of like one of those things like when you bring home a guy to your family. I mean, the first couple of questions that like my mom asked about Adam was like, is he Jewish? And like, what does he do? And like, I think like that's a very like average question.
Yeah. What do they do for work? Of course.
Yeah.
And like, here's the thing. In Megan's dad's defense, he wants someone that can provide for Megan, that can be like an adequate partner. Who knows? Like, I don't know if he's like, you need someone who's also rich that can take care of you, right? Like, that's a little antiquated, but I do think he wants someone that Megan will be able to grow old with and like has prospects. And Sean has not proven to be that person, really. Like, everything we know about him, in my opinion, is like a little red flaggy in terms of parents. He's very kind, but you need money to live. I'm sorry to say it. And the idea of being an inventor is like fun and everything, but can we talk through the individual invention ideas here? Because Megan goes back to Sean and she's like, yogurt, shrimp yogurt. There's so much cholesterol in shrimp. Not at all that it's fucking disgusting.
That, I mean, that's what like she was just like parroting what her dad
said. Yeah. And so she says, I want a list of like 10 inventions, because in her mind, Tom, she's like, if he has any good ones, I can help him, as like with the Christmas tree situation that happened. And then everything will be fine. Here's what he comes back with. So we already talked about the shrimp yogurt, which is fucking foul. His next idea honestly was a little confusing to me, but I think he called it a reading table. And so you put it on top of yourself while you're in bed so that you can read books while laying flat on your back.
Have you ever seen those glasses, those goggles that like, I mean, I would say that I'm sure that this would be for somebody. It's just not for me.
I think a table is too bulky. That's like the problem, right?
Yeah.
Like, Tom, couldn't I just lay on my back and hold a book up?
Well, I think
your arms.
Yeah, I think you want the table, and then I think you can have your arms down. You don't have to be holding anything up, and you can just look up, and like presumably everything will be big. I don't know. I can definitely see like someone being like, this is interesting. I would like that. But like maybe like 6 people. Like that's not a career.
It's not a great idea. So that's idea number 1. I think all of us are a little like meh at best on that one.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is a restaurant called Before and After. And it serves only appetizers and desserts.
So on this one, there's something there like that. That's an interesting concept for a restaurant. I don't think he pitches it very well. Like I think like a restaurant that has like before and after like as themes for the dishes, there's something there. But again, we don't want to get into the restaurant business. They're money pits. The only like unless you're on the show The Bear, you should not be involved in a restaurant. And people on The Bear should not be involved in a restaurant, quite frankly. Like stay away.
I agree with you, Tom. I think the concept is interesting and there's possibly something there, but restaurants are really risky. What if we did like a food truck called Before and After?
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Food trucks weren't like as trendy back then.
Sure. Not that. Or like a food stand, like not like a whole ass restaurant, like think smaller, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, this is basically, I don't hate the concept, but also you can go to any restaurant and just order appetizers and dessert, like literally any restaurant. But it does remind me of the melting pot, where the best part of the melting pot is the appetizer section with the cheese and the little.
Is the melting pot fondue, right?
Yeah. And then the end with the chocolate. So I would go into that restaurant and just order the apps and the dessert, but also, I don't know. I don't literally hate it, but I wouldn't recommend it. And I think
I would put it above the reading table in terms of like a gem of an idea is somewhere in there.
It's but like once again, like it's like, who's this for?
And then we have the sleep mask alarm clock, where it's a sleep mask that has the alarm clock built into it. So it like, I don't know, vibrates your head so that you're not waking up the person next to you, I think is the philosophy behind this one.
This might be good in my marriage because I'm a snoozer and.
Oh, you like to like alarm clock goes off, you hit the snooze button for 5 minutes. It goes off again, 5 more minutes. Okay.
It's probably like my most annoying thing that I do. So.
How many times are you snoozing before you're actually getting up?
Hours, maybe. I don't know, not hours, but
I give myself an hour. I set my alarm clock for an hour before I need to wake up, so I
and
can
then you
have some
snooze.
time.
Wait, how long between like it's snoozes? How long is your snooze?
8 minutes, I think.
You are snoozing like 5 times, maybe like 6. You're at what? That's
If it
unhinged.
was up to me, I would snooze that long. Yeah, but
That would get downright irritating. Okay, because here's my other question. I have so many questions about this. So, okay, so what time is your alarm set for?
Let's see.
6
Now,
of-
I was told to turn it off, so I'm not allowed to have this alarm anymore. Not allowed, but 7-Eleven.
So, what?
What? What do you got to say? What do you have to say? What's the problem here?
What the fuck is it 7-Eleven? Why isn't it just 7 or
I don't know.
7:10? What is
have-
wrong with you? Are you okay?
I have one for 7:06.
What's wrong with you?
Okay, here's my alarms: 2:05, 3:01, 3:30.
Wait, what? So 2:05 in the morning?
I don't know why. 4:04, 4:15, 5:01, 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30. There's 3 6:30s. 7:06, 7-Eleven, 7:30, 7:54. How do you feel about that one?
Is 7:54 the actual one you have to wake up for?
Probably
Why do you have so many alarms?
9:09.
Why are they? What the fuck? What are these random ass times?
So I have a guess here, because to me, the time that laying in bed feels the absolute best is when you're supposed to get up.
Yes,
that is like
1000%.
that is when
1,000,000%.
like this is like the best. Like when you
It's
actually
the
have to go
most
to
comfy.
yeah,
You're the most
exactly.
comfy when you need to wake up. It's
I just,
so
but
true.
why do you have like a 2 a.m. alarm?
It's not your business. I don't know.
Why do you have like a 4 a.m. alarm?
I
Why
don't
do you have a 9 a.m. alarm? What is
9:09.
happening? What is
9:09.
so? Okay, what the fuck are these times that you're picking? Okay, so my other question is then, let's
You
pretend
forget that I am an Aries moon, and the chaos is
it's fucking unhinged. This is the opposite of those people who are like, every volume has to be on a 5. This is the opposite of that. This
Yeah.
is pure fucking chaos. So
That
my
is
other
true.
question is, I don't even give a shit about Felicity. I don't give a shit about Sean and Megan right now. The other question is,
Yeah.
okay, so your alarm is going off at 7-Eleven. You don't actually have to start work until what, 8 a.m. maybe?
9. Yeah.
9 a.m. What time does Adam have to get up?
I mean, like, it doesn't matter. Like, he wakes up like at 8. We both like are really up by 8.
So
Really?
you are listening to a phone ring every like 7 minutes or so for about an hour. I would fucking, if I'm Adam, I'm
Yeah.
taking your phone and I'm
Yeah.
fucking throwing it out the window.
I wonder if I can get him to come in here.
Tell him I'm on his side. I don't know that I'm on his side super often. I'm on his side.
Yeah.
How do you have so many fucking alarms? I don't understand.
about
Tom,
it. Don't worry
do you
about it.
understand the need for this many alarms?
So I get it up to like an hour, because I agree with Sarah. Like when
But do
when
you
you're
have
laying in-
multiple alarms, or are you just hitting snooze on the same alarm?
I set it for like an hour before I need to wake up, and then when it goes off, I hit it a couple times, and then sometimes I usually
Can I
just
tell
set it for,
you-
like an hour later.
Can I ask you guys to guess how many alarms I have on my phone?
1. I'm going 1.
Okay, Sarah, what do you think?
Like 3.
I have 2 alarms. One is a weekday alarm for Monday through Friday at 7:15 a.m. I am 9 times out of 10, I am awake before that alarm goes off and I turn it off. So I almost never hear it. My other alarm is for 10:30 p.m. and it is simply a reminder to turn down the basement heat before I leave the basement.
Oh, okay.
It's not even like a wake up alarm. It is
Yeah.
just a reminder.
I can't get Adam on the podcast. He's on the bike, the Peloton.
Oh, he's on the- just let him know my thoughts are with him.
He
Okay.
says, "I hate your alarms." That's my statement. That's what he says.
I too hate Sarah's alarms because
Well-
they make literally no sense.
Well, sometimes you just need some alarms,
I
know?
really don't know. Anyway, okay.
So
So
are you like more offended that it's at 7-Eleven, or the fact that there's like 500 of them?
I don't know which one to be more offended by. That's the problem.
Well,
like the timing. What is like a
Only the 7-Eleven one is active,
Then why do you have all of the other ones?
They're just inactive. They're
So
like
delete
increasing
them. What
needles.
do you mean
No,
they're in?
no. I'm not going to delete them. Why do you hate that it's 7-Eleven?
I just can't because it's not a time that makes any real sense. Like Wake up at 7. Wake up at 7:10. Why are you waking up at 7:11? Like, do you
7-Eleven.
really like the chain convenience store 7-Eleven? Like, what is the deal?
I don't know.
What
It's
am
just
I
7-Eleven.
saying?
I don't even know how it came up at 7-Eleven.
Oh, okay.
It is Slurpee.
Sleep mask alarm clock.
Slurpee girl.
Tom, what do you think?
So I think Sarah just demonstrated. I think there could be a market for this. Again, I don't think this is a career. I don't think this is his. I don't think like this is the next can opener. But I like this. This is not nothing. I think this is. I think this could be like one of like 10 different ideas that could be like a group of okay ideas to get like a shop going, like a shop of different things like this could possibly work.
I agree. I think there's a market for this, right? They make those alarm clocks that has like a separate thing you like put under your pillow and then it vibrates, because they're like people who really don't wake up to sound. So, or I know there are people who will like literally shut their alarms off while they're sleeping. Like they're
I do too.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Sarah, if I was your roommate, I'd fucking kill you.
Well, I've been this way since college. Yeah, like I used to snooze when I had roommates too.
Never has it ever been more apparent to me that I was never destined to be a roommate person.
Yeah,
Like I have a husband and that's about all. And I don't even know if he does set an alarm clock. I don't know how many he sets. They never wake me up.
I'm a menace to society, but also I fully think that when I first got with Adam, he said that he was a snoozer too. But maybe
He lied.
make sure you ask Jess why you refuse to turn them off even when I ask you to. Make sure you have Jess ask me why I refuse to turn them. I do turn them off, but sometimes they have to go back on. That's my statement about that. What
is even the purpose of these alarm clocks anyway? Because my biggest question is, okay, so you don't start work until 9 a.m. If you didn't have an alarm set, would you sleep past 9 a.m.?
Not past 9. So like this is the thing. Like not past 9. I wake up like pretty much like on my own by 8. But then that means like I'm like rushing for an hour. Like or sometimes like I would wake up like I want a half an hour of phone time in bed. And then I want Belle to be fed by 8 a.m. so that she doesn't poop the crate. So I have to wake up by 8 o'clock. In my ideal world, I am up at 7:30. Up. I want to be up at 7-Eleven. So then I could I want to be up at 7:30. That's what I want. I want
set an alarm for 7:30 and then get out of bed when the alarm goes off.
I want to be up at 7:30, like awake at 7:30, 30 minutes of phone time. Then I want at 8 o'clock to be downstairs so I have a full hour before work to fuck around.
I have never wanted feedback more than I do right now. I want everyone to let me know. Do you set alarms to wake up in the morning? If you don't, do you have like pets, children that wake you up? And also, do you snooze constantly? Do you have 17 alarms? Do you have them set for arbitrary times? Please.
So
please,
like, this is the ideal world. I want alarm at 7-Eleven. I want 1 or 2 snoozes. Then I want to be up at 7:30 so I can have 30 minutes of phone time so I can check Twitter and doom scroll for 30 minutes. Then I want to get up at 8 so that I can take care of Belle and make the coffee and do any chores. And then I want to be at my desk at 8:30. This is what I want in my world so that I can fuck around for 30 minutes before I start getting calls from my coworker 90 times a day. The issue is that sometimes I snooze past 7:30. That's what I want. It's not that hard to ask for.
Oh boy. Okay.
Why am I pissing you off? I'm just trying
I can't even imagine the being in bed at 7 a.m. and having to listen to an alarm go off every 5 minutes for over a half an hour.
Adam does have to live that way. Is this a deal breaker for you?
I think Adam just has to learn how to get into the deep sleep.
Adam has to learn.
He's a terrible sleeper, honestly.
What is your alarm sound?
That's a great question. It used to be crazy. It used to be really, really fucking crazy. Let's see if I can find my alarm sound. Like, you would have hated what it used to be.
Yeah.
Okay, this is
So-
my alarm sound now.
Oh
I
no, not
hate
that one.
I hate that
that
one. I hate that one.
But it used to be worse, and I don't know if I can find it, but let me try to find it.
Oh
When
my
I
god.
left for college, I got an alarm clock that played CDs for your wake up music. So for like 10 years from college to whenever I lost that alarm clock, I had the Garden State CD wake me up
Yeah.
every morning.
Okay, this is what it was. This is what it used to be before in my earlier days, like in my previous relationship. You're gonna hate this.
That's like
What is wrong with you?
that's like the sound of that it makes in like a submarine that's going down.
I have known Sarah for over 5 years at this point. This is the craziest thing I've ever learned about her. Not only does she have 17,000 fucking alarms, but that is the alarm sound you use. Are you unhinged? Do you like waking up at a jolt with your heart racing?
The thing is that I actually do a lot of like really chaotic things, but I don't share them that much.
You
But
have lost it.
Adam knows a lot of my chaotic things, and he's just like, I don't
How?
live with the chaos because I'm an Aries moon, Jessica. I'm an Aries.
I don't even know. Okay. Sean and Megan, do they make up at the end of the episode? I don't even know.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Of course they do. They're
Wow.
fine. They're fine.
Wow.
He says something and then she's like, "Oh, you're so cute." I think
Yeah.
he's like, "If you want, you can end up with that lawyer." And she's like, "Oh, I don't want."
I don't want
I
that.
don't-
You're so cute.
Oh yeah, that's true. So they make up like always. Okay, before
Where are you guys at with Sean and Megan? Because you guys got sick of him at some point. Are you?
Fine.
I'm like whatever at this point. Like I'm tired of the fighting. Like be together or don't. Enough, you know?
When they're cute, they're really cute. When they're annoying, they're really annoying.
Yeah. Highs and lows.
Where I kind of am.
Peaks and valleys. Tom, who should we give the point to this episode? Who won this episode of Felicity? If you tell me Noel, Tom, I'm gonna
I
be
mean,
pissed.
he got a new job, Jess.
Yeah.
He got a new job, and he got
No.
he got
He couldn't
Felicity a
even
job.
arrange his face properly when Noel says Felicity's pregnant, and he
Ben.
says, "Oh, she told you." Yeah, no, Noel couldn't adjust
Noel couldn't adjust his face when Ben.
his Ben. Yes.
Okay,
No,
but like, why
My
is
pitch
Noel's
was-
grade depending on how good a liar he is to Ben? If Ben finds out, it's good for Noel.
Oh my
Like-
god. My argument was going to be Elena because I felt like she was a very kind friend to Felicity this episode.
No, it's Noel.
Oh my god. I'm doing this
It's
under
2 against
duress.
1.
I'll have you know. This is against my will.
He got a new job, and he got Felicity a new job where she's close to him, and he can continue to work whatever Noel angle he's got.
Yep.
Tom just coming in here pushing his pro Noel agenda.
I mean, honestly, this is what happens. He is an assistant of the team Noelers.
Jesus.
Oftentimes, you just love that, like, he's like big braining this, honestly, like that he has a plan and he's writing out the plan.
I feel like you haven't been giving Noel enough credit, Jess, for like he's been like working
Because he
this angle.
stumbles ass backwards into shit. None of this is premeditated. He's a big dummy. I hate to break it to you. He's a big dummy, as are most of the people on this show.
There's maybe a little bit of consideration for Javier to get the point, but I'm gonna
I
stand.
love
for-
Javier.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
stand
the
on that.
line of the you're like a seabird. You're so gullible. You're like a seabird. Okay, let's get into some feedback because I need to take a sip. I need to calm down. I'm still not over the alarm clock thing. So I'm gonna play a voicemail from Temmie so that I can calm down.
Tom, you're the bomb. I really loved all our classes together. Have a great summer.
Hags.
Every time Ben looked at Noel near the end of the episode, I was hoping he would figure out that Noel had been with Felicity. Because it seems like looking at people can help you ascertain the truth. Then the next episode could start with Noel dead as a Law and Order homage, but it wouldn't be Ben. It would be Sean for the rest of the money. I think it was a great use of backstory. Carrie was a dancer. You should check out famous beauty pageant winners. There's a nice People article about it. Separately, Martha Stewart, model, still got it. I did a lot of research on the pageant winner. The actress, her name is Serena Vincent. She played Denise. I watched her comedy reel on IMDb. She often comes in as the super hot lady and is witty/bitchy. Later, she plays a silly mom on a Disney show with Jenna Ortega. She's a rich man's Kelly Kapowski, which is saying something. And Taylor, I'm going to let you finish, but Denise should have won all the beauty pageant awards because she is one of the hottest women of all time. Of all time. And then she said, who did this? When she appeared in the bikini. The writers did it. Thank God there's God. And I'd be a sequoia. Super tall, live long, love you long time. Thanks. Bye.
I don't know that we ever knew how tall Tammy was. Now we know he's super tall.
Yeah,
Love
that
you
was
a long time.
a journey.
What's the journey?
Wow.
Wow.
How cool would it be to be like the actor that gets brought in whenever you need a hot, snarky person?
Yeah, that is great.
That's pretty good. If
That
you're
is
gonna have
great.
to get typecast, then that is the one to be.
Yeah.
I feel like Charisma Carpenter probably got typecast as like the hot bitchy person as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That's definitely, yeah.
Okay, let's hear what DBK has to say. Let's see if he roasts me. We'll see.
What up, though, ladies? Tom, did I make it in on time? It was a busy week, guys. I'm sorry, guys. Misconceptions. Let's see what happened this episode. We got Monica showing up. That boy is mine. You know, her name. Yeah, that's who that Sarah girl is. It's Monica,
no
right?
idea.
I'm sure you guys talked about this.
Totally talked about this.
We got Felicity with like a bit of a pregnancy scare. Noel being a solid friend, keeping Felicity's lying to Ben all episode. We got Sean and Megan working through Mr. Rotundi trying to break them up. And yeah, that was like pretty much this episode. Oh, and like Noel gets a new job as a guidance counselor. And like props to the old guidance counselor. He really worked his way up from the mailroom in season 1 when he wouldn't give Felicity the letter. And then he's like the guidance counselor. Good job, man. Anyways, till next week, ladies. Peace.
I had no idea that man was in the mailroom before.
I thought I recognized him, but I just assumed it was from something else.
I agree, Tom. I thought the same. I mean, I'm sure he's been in plenty of other
Yeah.
one-off roles as well. Yeah. Wow. Well, no roast from DBK, thankfully. I'm saved. We also got an email from Jamie. Jamie, just like us, was very upset that we didn't get to see Felicity compete in different categories. Instead, we got a montage of random girls. I especially was disappointed we didn't get to see her dance. And not sure if you know this, but Carrie Russell was a competitive dancer as a teenager. That's how she got cast in the Mickey Mouse Club alongside Justin Timberlake, Ryan Gosling, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. She won Best Evening Gown, but what does that actually mean? That she had the prettiest dress or looked the prettiest in her dress or a combo of both?
Yes.
And I especially think she looked really beautiful in that pink dress she was wearing when she was listening to Sarah sing. Speaking of Sarah, did you recognize her? She was played by Monica, a huge R&B singer in the 90s.
We're stupid. I
Sorry,
love
I didn't.
Always Mine though. I used to have that on CD and I would play it in my living room over and over again. So
now on to Ben. My stance on Ben is complicated. I became Team Ben in season 2 with the episode Great Expectations, the one where he and Felicity broke into the pool. I fell off Team Ben with the whole Avery fiasco, although I should probably show him some grace considering Felicity did just fuck Noel and is actively lying about it. However, he really pissed me off when he laughed at Felicity when she told him about the beauty pageant, especially considering she asked him not to laugh when he told her he wanted to be a doctor, and to Felicity's credit, she did not laugh.
yeah.
Personally, I think Felicity winning a beauty pageant is much more believable than in becoming a doctor.
No lies detected. Yeah.
I will end things with Noel. He continues to frustrate me and creep me out a little. He needs to stop hanging around Felicity and trying to fix all her problems. She made her choice and it was Ben. So either fight for her or move on. I mean, he clearly wants to be with her. So why doesn't he just tell her that? And what does he have to lose at this point? Maybe if he hadn't suggested they forget what happened and told her he loves her and wants to be with her, perhaps she wouldn't have been so quick to go back to Ben. At this point, he just looks pathetic. He would have taken Natalie's money and gotten the hell away from them. He's basically just torturing himself. I have a new theory. I think Noel is going to be the one who ends up telling Ben, and I think he's going to be super messy about it.
Ooh.
I don't have a lot to say about Sean except get a real job, if for nothing else, so he can pay Noel money back.
Get a job. You gotta get a job.
Yes, thank you so much, Jamie. As always, if anybody wants to send in feedback, shitnightiespod.com, shitnightiespod@gmail.com is the way to do so. Wow. What an episode. What an episode. Can I reveal what season 4, episode 5's episode title is?
Yeah.
Okay. It is Booze. It's a Booze, Booz.
Ooh, okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but someone's getting drunk.
That'll fit nicely with the Buffy episode. Quickly
Yeah.
do another theme.
I can't.
For sure.
God, Buffy episode. We're gonna talk about it. Anyway, this was our Felicity episode. Noel won the point against my judgment, but that's fine, I guess. Tom, thank you so much for coming on and talking about Sarah's ridiculous amount of alarms.
Stop
We
it.
so appreciate it.
It was good. Yeah, and I'm glad Sarah moved on from the nuclear reactor alarm to like it's like the fade out alarm now, right? Sarah, it's like beep, 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 beep. Boo, 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 boo.
It's something.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm also on One Indescribable Podcast, Everwood podcast. I think just got dropped today, which will be a couple days in
Ooh.
the past for when you
Yeah.
listen.
Mhm.
Incredible. Can't wait to listen to that. Yeah, you can listen to us as Tom mentioned. We cover Buffy as well. And check out everything Whirlwind has going on. Always so many podcasts coming out pretty much daily at this point. So go check out everything they have going on as well. Anything you want to add, Sarah, before we get on the heck out of here, before you have another alarm that has to go off?
No.
Thank you all for listening. We'll be back next week with Booze. So until then, everyone, have a good one. Bye.
Just ask. Shit 90 shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.